his way to join the Colts. The Eagles will receive a 2021 third-round pick and a conditional 2022 second-round pick in exchange for the QB. Wentz will be reunited with Colts head coach Frank Reich, who was Wentz's offensive coordinator for his first 2 seasons in Philly. Shannon, what's your initial reaction to the news?
Not surprised, but the price, Skip, they basically had to give him away. I mean, you think about Matthew Stafford went for 2 first-rounders. This kid is younger than Matthew.
By the way, Deshaun's going to go for like 4
Go for 3 first-rounders and some players. Right. This kid went for a third-round pick and a conditional second if he plays 75% of the time he goes to
2 years away.
Right. Skip, this had to happen. And I told you this, Skip, when they benched him, I say somebody's got to go, and maybe both of them going to have to leave.
They're both gone.
And they're both gone, so I'm not surprised by this.
Okay, so my reaction is I'm not a Wentz fan, but if he can revive his career anywhere, it's with that coach who was his coordinator, obviously, in Philadelphia, behind that offensive line, which well might be the best in football. And that running game, which just is it's right up there at the top of the league. So when you got those components, you got a chance.
Right.
Ultimately, I believe even Frank Reich cannot win big with Carson Wentz. You call him walk it to him, I say give it to him or bounce it to him. I just have never trusted his package of intangibles, his leadership, his poise under fire in this league. As good as the line might be and the run game might be, the receivers are average to me. But ultimately, the quarterback's going to have to make some big, key, crucial plays. And I don't think he's capable of doing that consistently.
Well, Skip, Pittman Jr. is going to be in his second year. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be second year. Pretty good. They need to re-sign T.Y. Hilton. I like Pascal. They got some guys that can play. The one thing that he's going to have to guard against, because their defense is very good, don't turn it over.
Well, he ran away with the turnover championship last year. He also got sacked by far the most times. Maybe that will change. It'll change. But again, he loves to throw home runs. He hangs onto the ball, Maybe Frank Reich can get him out of that bad habit. Maybe a change of scenery will be best for him. Trust me, he could not have handpicked a better place to go. I think the Bears were somewhat interested, but it was reported that he didn't want to go to Chicago.
He didn't want to go to Chicago, Skip. And plus, the thing is, the Eagles were trying to hold out hope somebody go offer for first-round picks. They basically had to give him away, Skip. I mean, you think about it, Skip. This guy was just 5 years ago, was the second player selected, and he went for a third-rounder and a second-rounder. Matthew Stafford was 12 years in Detroit, and you got 2 firsts. Deshaun Watson's going to go for 3 firsts and probably 2 starters. And Carson Wentz, they gave him away.
And now, no first-round pick since 2016 as a quarterback is still with his team. What's that tell you? It's hard to pick quarterbacks.
Except Dak. Dak is the only one that's still there.
But I mean first-round.
Oh, yeah. Right. But is Dak going to be there?
For one more year, yes.
Nah, Dak say nah. Dak say, y'all need to give me a long-term deal. I want to walk.
Yep. Well,
I love how
he's now by far the best quarterback in the East.
How about some breaking news for us to end the show? We will react fully to the Carson Wentz news when it comes to the receiver position at just over 6 feet and under 180 pounds. And one NFL meme account tweeted a photo of Smith standing on the sideline next to Tom Brady's infamous combine photo with the caption, quote, "These 2 dudes dominated the NFL and NCAA this season." These side-by-side photos, which don't exactly look physically impressive, have now gone viral on social media. Shannon, do you see any similarities between these 2 overachievers?
No, because the guy on the right, Devontae Smith, had arguably the greatest college season for a receiver in NCAA history. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, and every offensive award that you could win, he won it. You can make the case, Skip, and you know how the lineage of Alabama players, that he's the greatest college football player in Alabama's history. Tom Brady was not thought of as the greatest Michigan player when he left the University of Michigan.
No, he couldn't even win the starting.
Right. Yeah. Now, we know what he became.
Yep.
But Tom Brady also plays the position that requires you to be the least athletic of all the skill positions on the football field. But he has something that's he has prototypical size, 6'4", 230, 235 pounds. So he's prototypical in that aspect. Yeah, Devontae is slight built, but he has extremely long arms. He's technically sound. He's fundamentally sound. He can make tough contested catches, and he's tremendous run after the catch. So I get his skill. While you look at him, you're like, man, look at their bodies. But you walk around any locker room in the NFL, and you see any quarterback with his shirt off, and you're going to tell him to put his shirt back on because most of them look just like Tom Brady.
Except for maybe Cam. And I'm not even sure he would, like, really impress you.
Yeah. You know, Cam ripped up.
Okay.
Cam really ripped up.
All right. So I do see this similarity that at their positions, their respective positions, they are overachieving like crazy given their physique, because Tom's physique was pretty awful at this point, even though he had been drafted by Montreal to play catcher, like a late-round draft.
Right.
So he had some ability going on.
Right.
But in this body type, in this package, what this kid did to college football this year was extraordinary because he's slightly built. I think he plays strong, but he's 175 pounds. What if I told you 6'1", like 6'1"'s pretty tall for a receiver.
Yeah, he lanky,
But 175?
Right.
Really? And he looks like he's no more than 175.
But Skip, look at his hands. His arms come down below his knees.
They do. I agree. Not that far, but close enough. And yet his football speed is extreme. His quickness is extreme because I watched team after team try to triple cover him, and they could not stop him.
Of all the receivers that's come out of Alabama in, say, the last decade, he might run the slowest 40 time of all of them.
Do you think so? I don't know about that. But listen, game speed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's off the charts.
I don't want you to run fast. I want you to play fast.
Yeah, play fast. But he's so slight that you think, well, how can you stand up to whatever punishment you do take? Well, he's like born strong. He's like they call country strong. He's from a small town, Louisiana, but he's got strength about him because he played stronger than he looks.
I'm telling you, the first time I saw him, and ever since I saw him, the first thing I think of is Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
He has a Marvin Harrison type body.
All right, but Marvin Harrison wasn't that tall.
No, Marvin wasn't that tall. But he got that same. Torrey Holt has that same kind of slender build. Tremendous route runners. He'll be just fine. Skip, but you look at Tom, Skip, like I said, the majority of the quarterbacks are built like Tom. They're not, Skip, they're not chiseled, and you don't have to be overly athletic to play that position.
Okay.
There have been very few guys that weren't athletic, so to speak, that can play wide receiver, that can play a skill position.
Okay.
Normally, the skill position are the most athletic guys.
Okay, but Tom Brady never had the quickest feet. He had good pocket feet, and he never had a rifle arm, right?
Right.
So to me, I've called him the greatest overachiever in the history of sports, given what he's achieved.
Let me ask you a question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Tom Brady, he has the same credentials coming out right now. He looks just like that right now. You think he's a first-round draft pick? You don't know what he's going to become. You're just looking at his body. You look at his,
now?
Yeah, you look at his.
Well, that's why he went in the 6th round.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But he has the prototypical quarterback body, Skip. 6'4", 230-ish, 235.
Yep. And he did play one great game in his Orange Bowl against Alabama.
Yep.
That was big.